Well, thanks so much for checking out this video. I'm here with Alan George from Life.Church. Dude, you rocking that beard. I'm loving it. It's, I never can get my beard beyond the prickly point. Like that's,
I can see that.
Thank you. It's, there's somebody who works with me. She's actually, I have like a part-time assistant, and she saw me in the office last week, and she's like, oh, I like what you got going here. And I'm like, I don't believe you right now. You just seem like you're making fun of me, but
she was being nice.
She's being very nice.
It looks good. You look good.
Okay. Well, whatever. So what we're doing here is we're talking about church online. Obviously, Life.Church, you guys have been doing church online the longest, and you guys have been rocking it. So let's just jump right into it. How long have you guys been doing church online? And how many people attend your church locally?
Sure. So we've been this coming Easter, we would complete 11 years, and so we'll be starting our 12th year. And we have 78 services right now per week. So that's spread out through every day of the week, and we've got an average 140,000 unique visitors per week. So it's been fun. We're 78 is cool, but just type A personalities. We want to move to 80 real quick. Just so it's all lined out.
Yeah. What you guys are amazing at. Some people like kick up a service and like, oh yeah, but you guys have a whole paradigm to like. It's a real thing that people get invited into, and it's really an experience.
At the heart of it for us, community is big. Like it's not about just broadcasting content. It's about how do we get people connected? How do we get people engaged in conversation? And so everything is revolved around that. Yeah.
We are terrible at the live service experience, and you guys are amazing at it. So whenever I think about it, I'm like, I can't be Life.Church. So like we like defer to other things for our experience, but you guys are really good at that interaction.
We've made plenty of mistakes along the way, and so we're just excited. Honestly, it's our volunteer team. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it without them, because there's no way I can wake up 78 times at random times the whole week. Is because of our team. So props to them.
Yeah, which I love. I bet it's kind of fun as you travel places when you're up at weird times. You can like interact with different types of teams that probably you don't. I mean, I know you interact with everybody, but you can't necessarily be live at everything. So
it is cool. It is cool. I was actually in Tanzania a couple of weeks ago. And just to know that, sure enough, like our time Saturday here, our first service, I was up in Tanzania. It was like the middle of the night or something, and got to attend church, talk to them, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're in Tanzania. Yeah. Cool. So it was fun. It's just, the world seems smaller now because of technology. You're not stuck with just talking to your neighbor or the people that live down the street, but you truly have a global community that you can connect with, which is awesome.
Yeah. And you guys, how many campuses is Life.Church at right now? Do you happen to know that?
Sure.
I don't know if that's like,
we're 26. We're 26.
So for those watching, I asked that, as a disclaimer. It's really like, especially here, seeing if you guys go to Life.Church, watching what they're doing online, there's a lot of things that they're doing that it's like, oh, how are they doing 78? Well, they are a larger church, and they've kind of scaled up to some of these things. So it's really important. You don't have to jump right to 78.
We started with a handful, just like everybody else.
Yeah, which I love. And so so the next question is, how much time do you get to focus on church online?
So that's what I do. I mean, that's pretty much it. My role has changed over the years. As the team has grown, and as the amount of people that we're reaching has grown, we've realized that, okay, in order to be able to reach more people, I've got to be willing to give up some stuff. And so even for us starting these many services, we had to, there was a point where staff used to lead every service. Wow. And we realized if we wanted to add more services, we've got to be willing to let go. And that's when volunteers came in. And so it looks a little bit different right now, day-to-day wise, but that's where my mind is the whole time. And we're looking forward. It's early enough in the year where we're still planning our goals and things like that. So we're excited about what's getting ready to come.
Wow. Okay. So I know, I know some of these answers, but I know those watching,
Sure.
the goal is encouraging people with Church Online to think about their funnel and their strategy. But with you guys, what's the primary goal with Church Online? Is it local, global, or both?
It's the new phrase, I guess, global, right? Our mission here at Life.Church is the same mission that we have as Church Online, is to lead people to become fully devoted followers of Christ. And so we've crafted our service in such a way that whether you live in Edmond, Oklahoma, which is where I'm at right now, or if you live in a different country, we still want to be able to help you feel like Life.Church is home for you, if this is your home church. And so that's our audience. Anybody's welcome. We want them to feel like they can belong before they even believe. So that's what we try to do across all of our services.
Yeah. And you guys structure it. It's kind of interesting. Saddleback is in this phase right now where I think we have 15 campuses, if I remember. I can't anyways, but we're in this shift of centralized where there's a central team and then there's local teams. And the idea is the online campus is going to be part of central because we're more involved. We're spread out, and you guys have been structured that way for years.
Yep, that's exactly how we were. Now, earlier on, our team did fall under the campus side of things, but now we're part of this team called Digerati, and Digerati is where we have the YouVersion team, we have Open, which is where we give all of our resources away for free. We've got Church Online, and now recently, we've actually got a couple of internal focus teams as well. So it's Digerati, YouVersion, Open, and Church Online. We focus on the missional use of technology. So that's kind of our direction. So we fall under that chain of command. But we've got one leg in central, not really a campus, but we operate in similar ways.
Yeah, which I love asking how people do the campus thing with online, because it's always a flux. It's always an interesting response.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen is we have the opportunity to help our church see the impact we're making globally. And so owning the seat we have, sorry, I'm getting phone calls. Owning the seat we have at the table and making sure that we're bringing context, we're bringing stories and all that fun stuff.
Sweet. Well, okay. So my question is, what's your Church Online platform? Who do you use?
Man,
is there some built? Is there like I can't even.
Is there like an awesome platform that we could just?
Yeah, like how?
I wish
come on.
somebody made.
Yeah.
Yes, we use the Church Online platform. Our team made it, and yes, that's what we use.
Sweet. And you guys don't do any live services, right?
No, what we do is we call them simulated live. And so we pre-record worship, we pre-record my talking head pieces, and then whenever Pastor Craig preaches, we take that message, drop it into the whole deal, and then put it together, and then our service goes live.
Yeah.
So simulated live, meaning content is happening, but conversation is live.
Yeah. Do you like simulated live, or rebroadcast better? What's the word that
I like simulated live because nobody really knows what it means.
I got the longest, when we first did simulated live, I got the longest email that I still have saved. And it's somebody thinking that we were being liars, calling it live. Like,
yeah.
I mean, this was like 6 years ago. So it was like, it was very, so because on the website it said live now, they were like, it's not live. You're a liar, quoting verses.
We still get questions, is this really live? Like, is he speaking right now? And so our team they're used to it now, to where it's like, well, this is simulated live. This is where he speaks. And, they go through the whole spiel. So I think for us, we're not trying to trick anybody. We're trying to just let them know that, hey, this is what it is. We're leveraging technology.
Yeah.
We're doing what we can. So
yeah, confusion when stuff is evolving, it's just part of it's just like, what do you do with it? Okay, so this is the question is, what is your crowd to core funnel strategy for your Church Online? What does it look like for a new person down to the core?
Man, this is a tricky one. And so in just all honesty, Jay, you and I did talk about this, because it's like, I feel like every year it changes for us. And right about when we decided to do this call, that's when we realized, okay, we got to change everything that we're doing. So I think at the heart of it, so for just give you a little bit of backstory from me, when I first joined the Church Online team, which was 6 years ago, I honestly thought at that moment that we were at a disadvantage. And the reason why I thought it is because I came from a brick and mortar campus. And so I thought, man, when people walked into the building, I could see them, I could shake their hands, I knew who they were. And there was just, I just knew who they were. And so there was this ability to do that. And I thought, man, Church Online, people just show up. You never know where they're coming from. But that changed very quickly when I saw the power of technology and what you can do with it. Because you can have somebody, if you have a fairly decent sized building, you can have somebody walk into your building, grab a cup of coffee or whatever, sit down, listen to the message, and then leave. And you never even know that they were there. But online, a little dot shows up on your screen on a map somewhere saying, hey, here's one person, IP address, such and such, and they're here at the church. And so I over the years, I've learned how to see the advantages. And so I really do believe, and then of course, whatever's happening with Facebook and Instagram and all these social network platforms, you see how people are connecting. And so I think for us as a church, it's cool that we provide options where people can watch a message, but we could be missing it if we're not giving people an opportunity to connect in the midst of it. So I think whatever the strategy might be, you've got to have one, whatever it might be. Yours might be different from ours, but you've got to find a way to connect with the people that are showing up. And so for us, coming to the answer, at the heart of it, we want to do what we would do at any one of our physical locations. When somebody shows up, we want to get to know them. People want to be needed and known. And so we want to help connect with them, find out what their story is. It's not an overnight thing. It's a long-term journey, a long-term relationship. And so we try to mimic the same thing on Church Online. And so if somebody shows up for the first time, we invite them to, introduce themselves, connect with us, let us know your story. We want to help get to know them better. We want to keep them updated. So we have email newsletters, we've got Facebook groups, we've got life groups or small groups, online and face-to-face. So we've got multiple opportunities where we try to go from that large gathering to let's connect in a smaller group setting, because it's at the core of what we do.
Yeah. And have you guys, because I know at one point, and this was something that I noticed that was something you guys were messing with it. You guys have small groups in some way, but you use that language, and that's like when people say small group, depending on what church you're part of, you can call them cell groups, life groups, small groups, whatever. But you guys also were at one time treating your chat experiences as groups as well, because those were high connection points. Is that still the case?
So that not right now, and some of this is even, some of this is just nuances, because it's at the heart of it is community happening, and it's easy for us to get tied up with, well, how am I going to measure success? Now, I think measurement is definitely needed. You want to know if you're winning. You want to know if you're making a difference in someone's life. But the holy grail for any church is that whole crowd to, what did you call it? Crowd to
core to commission.
So it's trying to solve that formula. If we could get away, well, you start here and you take all these steps and finally you arrive. And that's the hard part. And so for us now, during our services, you've got conversations happening, you've got prayer happening, you've got ministry taking place. We even started experimenting with some services on Facebook, and we started seeing the same thing. We start seeing conversations, ministry, people praying for each other. In fact, when we say, hey, do you have a prayer request? And people start sharing their prayer requests, they don't wait for us to pray for them. The community on its own, they start praying for each other and letting them know that, hey, man, we're with you. Let us know how we can help. And that's the church. And so if you look in the book of Acts, that's what you see. People coming together, they connected, they were there for each other, they helped each other when they saw that one of their friends were in trouble. And that's what we're trying to do at Church Online. So in all honesty, I think we're definitely using some tools and figuring out ways to help people feel connected and closer to each other. But we don't have it all mapped out. In fact, tomorrow our team is actually meeting together, and we're going to talk about 2017 and what do we need to tweak. Because one of the things we noticed was, especially for us here at Life.Church, we literally do get people off the streets. I mean, people are doing whatever online and they show up at one of our services. Well, they connect with people in the service, but the leap from that service into going into a small group seemed to be really quite a large leap. And people
Yeah.
weren't connecting as much because, you know, maybe it's their first time coming to church. Why would they want to go into a small group setting with a bunch of strangers? Now, some people, they jump in and they're all in, but for others, they needed some more time. And so we're constantly trying to figure out, is there something in the middle? Is there something in between, you know, coming to church and being in a small group? Is there something in between that we can help slowly guide people through the way? So those are the questions we're asking right now.
Is there any, I mean, I know that there has been, but obviously you've had some things happen like Houston. I've seen you go and visit. There's gatherings on some, whatever you call them, but there's people getting together. Has there been any drive to figure out, like how you multiply that, and share a little bit about Houston, just like real briefly about.
Sure. Yeah. We decided to take a quick road trip to Houston because we saw that we had a few Church Online people there. And we had, I forget the exact number. I'm a pastor, so I could get my numbers wrong. But I think it was like 15 or something like that, 15, 20 people showed up and we all had dinner and it was really good. It was a good setting. But when we came home and as I was, you know, looking at my notes and looking at everything that I wrote, man, those conversations were great. Connecting with those people were great. But the truth was it's not scalable.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm the limiting factor because these meetups were based around me showing up.
Yeah,
and
totally.
There's no way that I could show up in every city, every country. It's going to take a lifetime. And the whole point of Church Online is so that we could scale and so that we could be a church that's global. And so we haven't done a whole lot of meetups after that. We did a few just to test them. And anytime we're traveling for any other reason, if there are people there, we'll always let them know that we're coming and we'd love to meet up. But we're trying to ask the question, can these things happen on their own? Because if somebody attends a service on a laptop, just like the one I'm looking at right now, and at the end of the service, they shut their laptop down and go about doing life as normal or what they were used to, well, then we really haven't made a difference. Will they take what they learned from church and apply it to their neighbor that's sitting right next to them or living right down the street with them? That's what this is about. It's not about technology. It's not about, you know, oh, everything has to stay on a screen. No.
Yeah.
Ministry is messy. I mean, by whatever means possible, let's do anything short of sin to reach people who don't know Christ. And so I think there's this tension that we're in. We'd love to measure success and we'd love to identify what works, but at the same time being okay with the messiness. And then how do you measure the messiness? Like, what does that look like? So we're in this kind of interesting place, but we're excited about it because it feels like next level for us.
So two more questions. One is, I'm actually just curious personally. You guys have obviously been a church that has leveraged Google Ads very wisely in the last 11 years with Google Grants, and there's all sorts of stuff. You guys have trained so many churches on how to do that. Have you done any shifting to do Facebook ads more in the last couple of years? I was just curious about that.
We do Facebook ads when it comes to some of the more community things, like whether it's a volunteer story or we're strategically, I'll give you a hint. If you're looking on my screen, I'm looking at a few countries this year. We leverage Facebook ads to target some specific countries with some specific strategy that we have. Google, what has changed for us though, in the past, we would run ads all day and it was one big giant ad campaign. And so if you're familiar with AdWords and how they run, this would make sense. But we recently found out a way to separate. So basically for each service, we have our own little ad bucket. And we've been on this journey to find the right amount of Google visitors, the right amount of just generic visitors, the right amount of Life.Church visitors, and how do you create a really good experience? Because you could have one or the other, and either one of those extremes are not that great. Because if you have just a bunch of church people, well, we're not reaching people who don't know Christ. And if you're reaching just a bunch of people who don't know Christ, well, we need the community to come and support them. And so we're trying to find this good mix between the unchurched and the church, and find the right balance. So again, all of that is a little bit just, we're still in the experimenting stage, but we've been seeing some success there and hoping to learn off of that.
Sweet. Well, and then my last question is, what's the tool that you're using now that you wish you had when you started Church Online?
Okay, so disclaimer, I wasn't here when we started, so I have no idea what that team would have wanted. I think
internet.
Internet would have been great. I think, at times we do use platforms and we do use tools, and maybe this is just because of the way I'm wired. I'm not really much of a tech person. I'm more of a pastor. Yeah. And so for me, give me anything that'll help me reach people better. And just recently, I've been diving more into just regular social media and just Facebook and Instagram, and it's been blowing up for me with regards to people requesting for prayer and just connecting and want to chat. And there are guys out there that want mentors because they live in countries where there's nobody telling them, hey, here's what you could do with your education. Here's a kind of career that you could focus on. No one's there. Nobody, and some of them have never, they're the first ones from their family going to college or anything like that. And so there's so much opportunity for the church to leverage what we already have, that I'm often looking at the person. And if I can't reach that person for some reason, I'm going to try and find a tool that will help me get there. And so it's typically person driven rather than tool driven. So
I like it. Well, guys, I want to thank you, Alan, for taking the time to chat. I love that you have the countries up behind you in your office. It's cool. That's a smart idea to keep on track.
Keeps us on focus.
So check out Life.Church. Check out what they're doing. There's some really cool things on how they do their live services. It's definitely a really awesome experience that it's very focused too. So check that out. And to check out more, I've interviewed a couple more people. Go to my website, check that out, and I'll work on my beard, Alan. So thanks.
Thanks for letting me hang out, Jay.